Crazy Tinder story. Mark and Julie meet on Tinder, they start texting, and they decide to meet up for a date. When he picks her up, she comes out, but there's a woman following behind her yelling, "If you leave this house, you better not come back here." Julie said, "That's my mom, just ignore her, let's go." So they go out to eat and they have a pretty good time. Now she wants to go to a bar, hang out, and talk some more. They hang out till about 1 o'clock in the morning. When they start to leave, he says, "Where should I take you?" She says, "Why don't we go back to your place and have some fun?" Now, he hasn't dated in a long time, so this is really exciting for him. They go back to his house, they have a great night. They even sit and talk for hours. The next morning, he wakes up with her cuddling him. He thinks, "Wow, I've really missed this." He gets ready for work. He says, "Where do I need to take you?" She says, "Well, if it's okay, can I just stay here today? My mom's going to raise sand if I show up this early at her house." So he heads off to work. Now, they text back and forth all day. He even asks her, "Do you want me to bring you something back home?" She says, "Yes, swing by Taco Bell." He gets their food and comes home. They play house for about a week. And now he's thinking he's met the love of his life. Until that Monday comes around. He comes home from work to a house full of people. There's some guy laid on his couch. There's kids running around. She's sitting on the front porch with some other dude. He says, "Who are all these people?" She says, "This is my family. Those are my kids." She said, "Do you mind if they spend the night? They don't have anywhere to go. It would really mean so much to me." He said, "Look, the kids can stay, but all these other people, they have to go." She said, "They're my brothers. They don't have anywhere to go. My mom's kicked them out." What was supposed to be one night turns into 3 months. Now he finds himself miserable at work, thinking, how did I get myself into this situation? How am I taking care of a whole entire family from one date? So he decides on this day, he's going to tell everybody they have to get out. But when he gets home, all of his stuff is gone and there's nobody home. He calls, texts her, she doesn't answer. Finally, he texted her, "If you don't answer me back, I'm going to file a missing persons report with the police department." Within seconds, she calls him. "No, don't call the police. I'll be there in just a few minutes." He says, "Julie, where is all my stuff? What happened?" When she comes home, she puts on the sad eyes. "My brother owed money to a dealer and he came to collect. And if we didn't pay him, he was going to do something very bad to my brother." This makes him feel bad for her. He says, "Is that the truth? Is there anything else that I need to know about?" She says no. Days later, he goes to the pawn shop to replace some of his electronics that he needs. While he's in there, he sees some things that look very familiar. Some DVDs that even have his initials on them. He asks the pawn shop, "Can you tell me who brought this here?" The man says, "Let me talk to my boss." The guy comes back out and he tells him it was his girlfriend's driver's license that was used to pawn his stuff. He calls her, but she doesn't answer. He texts her telling her, "I know what you did." She doesn't answer. He files a report with the police department. They eventually end up charging her and her brother with theft and selling stolen goods. After they were arrested, she called him and asked him would he please come bail her and her brother out of jail. He said absolutely not. He never spoke to her again. He's never used Tinder again.